Welcome back to Angel Angela, and on this topic, we are going to be talking about the narcissist tyrant. The narcissist tyrant is a ruler who has no legal limits on his or her power by law or constitution. So, a ruler who has no legal limits on his or her power, someone who has no limits to what they will do to you to keep that power, whatever it is that they're using you for supply, their motive is power. And it doesn't mean just resources, intimacy. It means power over your soul to a tyrant, So this is someone who has no legal limits, no legal limits by law or constitution, meaning that the law does not apply to the narcissist. The way the world works does not apply to the narcissist. The justice system does not apply to the narcissist. Yes, certain narcissists get caught, and then they have the snitching rule, right? You get caught and you snitch, and now you're a well-known snitch. So basically, narcissists live in another world where there are no rules. So it's either you're going to get even and go to war, or you let it go. A lot of times when they have to pay the price, it hasn't been their first time. So there's this underground world where people do stuff, people get away with stuff, people pay their way out of situations. And it's all about power and control, to sustain their life, even if it means having greed and, ruining lives. Because in the narcissist's mind, if they could be clever enough to get away with something or have more because they lied or they used people, they feel like, hey, I went and got these things for myself. I had to do what I had to do to get these things for myself. No one's going to give it to me. I'm not waiting on anyone to give it to me. I'm not waiting on a miracle. I'm not going to wait around for my season to have blessings. The hell with that. The narcissist tyrant is someone who they don't abide by anyone's rules, not even the street rules. So we live in a world where there's rules. There's constitutional rules. There's laws, right? And these laws are created so that we can have equal opportunities, equal rights, and so forth. But see, the narcissist knows that sometimes innocent people get wrapped up in bad situations. And it doesn't matter if they tell the truth. It doesn't matter if they were the victim. They don't get the justice that they thought they would get by telling the truth. Because at the end of the day, they still did the things that they did or played the role that the narcissist wanted them to play. They sold themselves out. And you can't hide from that. You can't defend yourself and say, hey, I was temporarily insane or something. I was not in the right mind, or I wasn't aware of what the narcissist was up to, or their plans for me, right? So the narcissist knows that a lot of people don't get the justice or the protection that they deserve. The narcissist learns from their victims, So a lot of times the bad karma that the narcissist is supposed to get, they pass it on to you. So this is why I wanted to speak on the narcissist tyrant, because I feel like people don't really understand who the narcissist is. I think that, there's a lot of terminology. There's a lot of information to help you see the clues or the red flags. But a lot of these red flags can be undetected, all because when you are under the tyrant's power, under their control, you will be, basically puppeted. And it's almost like you're in this dream that you can't wake up from. There's good parts of the dream, but mostly bad. Mostly bad. But the bad doesn't even seem that bad because this person has got into your head. They have power over you, over your mind. And you're moving through life according to whatever they planned for you, and have made you feel as if the way that you think is your choice. And a lot of times you're not even fully conscious yet. So with me, I realized that I wasn't conscious most of the time. It was almost like someone killed me, and by the time I woke up and I was able to look myself in the mirror and finally see who I was and what I've been through, and I was finally able to see those scars. I was finally able to see every scar in my body, every time, we argued, or, they got rough with me, or they're playing rough with me, and, just every little sign of abuse. I was able to finally see it after it was over. And that's why after it was over, I almost was in a very zombie-like state, because I couldn't understand what exactly happened, and I couldn't understand why I couldn't see it the way I saw it when it was over, when the narcissist finally killed me. I feel like I couldn't really see what it was that was keeping me that way, because there was many times where I wanted to escape, or just set myself free from the situation. Even in the beginning, I think like the first year, I was kind of questioning everything. It was times where I left, and I was like, there's something wrong here. There's something wrong with this person. And every time they came to me, they came to me very distressed, where I could feel their anxiety. I could feel every emotion they had. And it was something that I hadn't quite ever felt. It was like someone was finally letting me see their soul, right? It was like, oh, I finally found someone. Something feels off, but not only can I feel like I can see their soul, but I feel like they can see mine. I feel like they're in my head a lot, and I worry about them. And now I'm having all these feelings of worrying about this person, right? Even though they're showing me signs that something's wrong. I'm thinking, well, maybe they're going through something. And when you're an empath, you want to help. You're that friend that helps, and a lot of times you're around people that will do the same for you. So you become almost like a protector to this person. And you're thinking there's something, going on. They're afraid, or you're trying to help them, or you're trying to, I don't know what you're trying to do, but you're trying to do something. They make you feel like they need you, right? Like you're different. Like you're impacting them. They're making it seem like your spirit is something that they need. Your goodness is something that they need. Like they've been wronged. They've been betrayed. They've been lied to. They've been used. People don't want to accept that they've changed. They'll tell you about their past. They'll tell you, that they learned from their parents. They learned from the people around them. They don't want to be nothing like their siblings. They don't want to be nothing like their friends that they grew up with. And you can relate to these things, or you can see these things, because these are emotions that a lot of people feel. You see how a lot of people make things about themselves. And here is this person telling you, hey, I know how people are. I know people make things about themselves. People have done that to me my whole life. And it brings you closer to them. But there's always red flags. There's always bad luck when you're dealing with a narcissist tyrant. It was times where we went on a double date, and we go to this mall where there's a whole bunch of restaurants around, and next thing you know, all the security guards at this place come in like 5-6 cars, and like 10 different security guards get out, and they're basically telling us that we have to go. And I'm like, the hell is this about? Oh, you guys aren't allowed back here anymore. I'm like, you guys been here before? No, we haven't. This has never happened to us. The narcissist is playing dumb. They're blaming all this bad luck on their friends, on the people around them. The narcissist told me, every time I get around my friend, there's bad things happening to us. We left the club the other night, and when we left the club, some people got into a fight and were shooting, and my friend's car ended up shot up. We have the worst luck when we hang out, and they're blaming all this bad luck on people. They're telling you that other people have bad energy. They get around you, they have all this good energy. They're taking you into their dungeon, into their underground world. They're playing music. They have you distracted. They give you drinks. Some of these narcissists do drugs and you don't even know. Sometimes you think you know, but you don't really know. And what's crazy about the narcissist tyrant is that all these things are happening. All the signs are happening where the universe is telling you you're dealing with a predator. It's time to go. And sometimes, in my case, this person was older than me. And, when you're in college, you have a lot of friends, male and female. And I never looked at my male friends, even though I knew, boys will be boys. I never felt like the people around me were a threat, I was never around a tyrant, This is what distinguishes the narcissist from, men who also want to use women to get their needs met. A A tyrant won't leave you alone. If you have male friends, they'll leave you alone. They'll joke around with you. They won't pursue you to the point where they're so wrapped up into who you are, into your life, where they're doing almost everything possible to build a bond with you and to devalue you in different ways, or try to overpower their authority over you, meaning that, when I would go out with friends, especially like on a weekend, right? And you already know it's going to be packed. You already know the restaurant's going to be packed. I remember this occasion where the narcissist was basically like, oh, we're not getting attention. We're not getting the best service. And I'm like, the place is packed. Like, most people would just enjoy themselves, right? Just enjoy yourself until your waiter comes back or whatever. Talk, have a couple of drinks or a refresher or some water or something and just kind of relax. But it was like this person couldn't relax. Oh, we're not getting the best service and we should just leave. We should just go. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why would someone go out on a weekend, get ready just to leave? That's dumb. But they try to seek this power over you, and it doesn't seem that way at first. It just seems like someone who's annoyed and who's like, oh, let's just go somewhere else. And you might not think they're trying to exert any power over you in moments like that. So I realize now that there was moments where they tried to exert their power. And then shortly after, I remember being at the gym with one of my guy friends, and he was into like playing sports and stuff. So, us being at the gym, working out, it wasn't something where I was looking at this friend in a sexual way. It was just, we're workout buddies today, and someone related to the narcissist saw me, someone related, their brother saw me, and their brother told the narcissist, oh, that girl you're dating, or, and we weren't even official or anything. I didn't know that the narcissist wanted to be serious with me. But when they seek out supply, in their mind, they're already thinking, the tyrant is already thinking what role you're going to play in their lives. So to me, when this person, the brother, contacted the narcissist and the narcissist contacted me later on and was like, where are you at, questioning me, I lied. I also realized the power of lies. When you aren't serious with someone, you don't really owe them anything, and I realized that I felt like when that happened, he was basically almost making it seem like we were serious. And I almost felt like, well, if I tell him the truth, they'll be mad at me and think I'm doing something, because even if I tell them the truth, they seem pretty pissed, like if I cheated or something, right? So I lied, and it was the worst mistake that I could have done. But at the same time, I feel like it was supposed to happen that way, because me and that person weren't supposed to be together. There were too many signs where I was drawing back from that person. I wasn't taking them serious. Part of me wasn't even attracted to them, to be honest with you. And when the narcissist, made it seem like we were an item, I remember I wrote them. I wrote them like a note, and I told them on this note, I'm really sorry if you took it the wrong way and if I lied to you. But I didn't know like we were serious like that, and I really like you. So, I basically wanted them to forgive me, but there was this hate. They made their mind up right there and then that it was going to be okay to use me or to take advantage of me because I lied to them. So what the tyrant does is that they already know bad things are going to happen to stop you from being with this person. There's going to be signs that you're going to ignore. They know all the signs that you're ignoring. Me getting into a car accident. I got into a really bad car accident where my car ended up smashed in. And this was like a very expensive, luxurious car at that time. And it was a gift, a family gift. And it was like I was getting all this bad luck from being with this person, but I couldn't see it as that because I'm thinking there's no connection. You can't blame someone for an accident, right? But it's like every time I'm with you or leaving from being with you, something's happening to me. And every time something's happening to me, I almost feel like because I think we're together, now I'm reaching out to you. Hey, this is happening to me. This is happening to me because this is the person that you're talking to on an everyday basis, because when they get with you as supply, they spend a lot of time with you. And if they have other supplies, they'll spend a lot of time with you, talking to you online, texting you, or talking to you on the phone certain times, maybe in the morning when you wake up. They deal with one supply, that supply goes to work or something. Now they call you, right? Or, they'll call you before you go to sleep, and then, their primary supply comes over and you're not spending the night with this person. So you don't know that they're having someone every night at their house while you're being with them, while you're dating them. They lie about their children, how many kids they have, if they have multiple kids. Tyrants have multiple children, multiple families. Some they deal with, some they don't deal with. Sometimes they tell you which ones they deal with, but they won't tell you about the ones they don't deal with. They'll act like those people are dead or they don't even exist. So signs like that will pop up, and the narcissist will have excuses. Sometimes they'll tell you the truth. Sometimes they're faking the truth. They'll post pictures. They'll, call people right in front of you to make you think they're responsible. They do these things, but it's all to get you wrapped up into their world. They'll bring their children around you. They'll act like they have a good relationship with, their exes. And then when they're dropping off their kids, especially if they're babies, don't let a narcissist have babies or kids around, because they will try to have you become close to their children, especially if you're a woman. They know you'll have a weakness with a child. So, they'll put their kids to sleep in the same bed as you, and you'll build a bond with this person because you're like, I'm in a serious relationship. Their ex knows about me. Their kid is being dropped off. You think you know the ins and outs of the narcissist. You see the bad behavior and you start to ignore it. You see their selfishness. You'll ignore the selfishness. You'll ignore the jealousy. You'll ignore moments that they discard you and they hoover you, and you'll keep taking them back like nothing. There's some supplies that, the narcissist discards when you're doing bad, or when they feel like they can't get anything out of you. Sometimes, they try to act like, hey, I love bomb you and I do nice things for you. So now they're expecting you to do the same. They're like, hey, it's supposed to be 50-50, right? This is all a trap so that they can give you 50% and they can save that other 50% that they were going to use. Now they can save that 50% and you'll take over the 50% in their life. And now you're doing 50% of things thinking it's equal, and all it's doing, it's saving them time, money, and giving them the opportunity to stack up on new resources. And now they start to breadcrumb you, and 50% goes to 70%. And depending on what type of supply, it could turn into the narcissist, doing 0% and you're doing everything. And I know that because I've been around people who they'll do everything for the narcissist, and it's almost like they know the narcissist is a narcissist, especially Jezebel spirits. They know the narcissist is only there for supply, so they'll use the narcissist. They'll even boss the narcissist around. And it's almost like they have a clear understanding of the relationship, and the narcissist comes at you like you're that type of person when you're not. You're just a good person. And what they start to do is they start to exploit you, knowing that there's no agreement. You didn't make an agreement to be that type of person or to be in that type of relationship. You already even told them what you're looking for, what you want in a person. So they imitate what you want with the plans. The tyrant has plans for you. And part of the plan is the power that they want over you. What you don't realize about the power that they want over you is that, see, they're constantly watching, they're constantly studying you. I didn't have the narcissist on social media, but I knew that they were secretly watching me, because according to what I would post, their moods would change. So if me and the narcissist we weren't talking and I wanted to go out or do things, they would know what I would be doing according to what I was posting. I never knew that people studied you in that way, right? I didn't know the narcissist was studying me that close until there were moments where he devalued me and discarded me. And when I finally went no contact, because I knew they would hoover me back, when I finally started to understand the hoovering process, in the beginning it hurts you a lot because you're not understanding why things are going bad. You don't understand at first. So you're crying, you're trying to reason with this person. And then it gets to the point where now they're abusing you. They're calling you names. They're telling you deserve to be called names. You deserve to be a hoe, in so many words, right? They're telling you that's what you are. That's what you deserve. That's all you'll ever be. No one will ever love you. No one will ever marry you. They'll say all these things to you. So you start to live with a lot of guilt, shame. Your self-esteem goes down. So you could have been someone with a very high self-esteem. I was always the type of person that you just couldn't really break me down. I knew myself. I knew who I was. At least I thought I was. I just wasn't strong enough for the narcissist tyrant. See, there's a difference between a bully and a tyrant. I've been bullied. I've dealt with bullies. But a tyrant is different from a bully. See, you can stand up to a bully. You can reason with a bully sometimes. You can sometimes understand why a bully is behaving that way. Sometimes a bully is not a narcissist. Sometimes that's someone who's hurt and they're feeding off of weaker people, right? And you could put the tyrant in that category of someone who is wicked. The difference is that there's no changing the tyrant's mind. When their mind is made up, it's made up. The bully, you might be able to change this person's mind. You might have to stand up for yourself and fight the bully back for them to leave you alone. But a tyrant, if you fight this person back, they're never going to stop fighting you back. They'll never stop. Even if you tell them, hey, we're going back and forth, none of us are going to win, we might as well stop. A tyrant is going to make you believe they're going to stop, and then they're going to do something again. That's the difference between the tyrant and the bully. So I didn't know, people like that existed. A lot of us didn't know people like that existed. Most people don't understand. And even when they research narcissists, people, and even when they deal with certain people they might think are narcissists, because some people, you behave in a narcissistic way and they might have narcissistic traits, but it doesn't mean they're a narcissist. A tyrant is someone that will always put themselves first. And when they start something, they're not going to stop. They're like bloodsuckers. So if once they start something, once they start a relationship, a friendship with you, they're not going to stop. That friendship is not just a friendship to them. It's power. So to them, it's, if I can access people better or who have more supply than me, if I can access these people and destroy them, it's almost like they're painting their spirit with particles of who you are. And they're always thinking steps ahead. So they already know the karma's coming back to them. The problem is you don't know the energy. You're not in tune with energy at that moment. You're not in tune with your intuition. You're not in tune with, your senses or any of that, and once you become in tune with your senses, you realize that you weren't in this partnership or relationship with someone who is your soulmate, because there was many times where you felt like the narcissist was reading your mind. It was times where I look back at me and the narcissist sitting in the car and talking, and next thing you know, we're cracking up because we're talking to each other telepathically, and he's like, stop doing that. And I'm like, no, you stop doing that. And we're just cracking up, right? And I look at moments like that and I realize that it wasn't that there was this bond and we could, telepathically talk to each other because we have this strong bond. It was that they had this power and control over my mind. And those instant moments where I was able to communicate telepathically back with them, it was just moments of consciousness where I was in my own mind and I felt someone in my mind and I could hear them and I was able to communicate, and it wasn't in my head. Because here they were right in front of me, and I knew it was coming from this person. And I realize now that they were always in my mind. You were always in my mind. However that song goes. They were always on my mind. And they were always on my mind because that's how they created it to be, So them speaking to me telepathically made me realize that they were puppeting me the whole time. And in those instances where I felt them talking to me was because I was in a state of mind where I was conscious of it. But looking back now, I'm not understanding the power of telepathy and mind control. So now when I look at it, when I tell these stories, I realize, Okay, they must have been talking to me in my mind so many times. Even with the reverse Hoover, they knew exactly what they were doing. There was moments where you knew they were trying to make you do the reverse Hoover, and you were trying to stand firm in your morals, and you were trying to stand your ground. And it was very difficult for you to, because they have already gotten into your body and have bonded with you through intimacy. And now they're calling your spirit, they're calling your mind. They're casting spells over you. I remember laying in bed and the narcissist touching my third eye, and I didn't know what a third eye was at that moment, but he would rub with his finger slightly on my third eye in circular motion, and I would be like, stop. I would be very annoyed with it. And I realized, he was pushing my third eye like a little button, like, I'm going to, turn you into a robot, my own personal robot, and I'm going to use you until the wheels fall off. It was like trying to get out of, the Get Out movie, and there's all these characters, there's family members of his, people around, children even, exposing him or saying different things. I remember, his sister telling me, you're not going to want kids. You don't want kids because you guys have been together. And I'm thinking in my mind, we've been together for years, and that's probably why she's questioning it, right? And I'm asking him, why is she asking me that? Like, why does she care? Why does it matter? I'm not thinking to myself, oh, he's having children with other people and I'm the person he's hiding and running to, and I'm just in la la land while he's living double, triple lives. And every time I saw something in his friends or his family, and I almost had this feeling like, you must be like your sibling. You say you hate these qualities about these people. You say it's very low frequency. Oh, it's very low frequency. They talk to you about energy. They talk to you. Sometimes they don't even talk to you about God, but they talk to you about energy. See, they don't believe in God, but they believe in energy. They know when the signs are there. The tyrant knows that you don't know. And this is why I say in the tyrant's world, there's no limits to what they will do to have power over you, and they do not believe in any type of constitutional laws. They don't believe in anything that you believe in, anything you were taught, anything that you think is bad, anything that you feel goes against people's morals, anything that comes with respect. They go against all these things. They'll make you believe that they respect you. They'll do certain things to abide to society, to fit into society, should I say. They'll do certain things. They'll act respectful. They'll act charismatic. But deep down inside, they're exhuming power and control over you. This is why they're very nice at first. They'll let you, they want to know everything about you. But then when the bad luck comes and you can't handle it because you're running to them as a place of comfort, because you're like, this is the person I opened up to. This is the person that I've gained to trust, that I've learned to trust. This is the person that, is there for me when bad things are happening. I can always talk to this person. I know they're always a call away. One thing about a narcissist, if you call them, they'll show up. They might not show up the way you want them to show up, but they'll show up. Years can go by, and if you call the narcissist, and they'll want to see you. It doesn't mean that they'll stick around. It doesn't mean that they'll stay with you. It doesn't mean that they'll give you what you want. It means that this person will come and continue to damage you more if they choose, if you allow them to. This is a tyrant. like a siren. If you call for them, they'll come to you, but you won't get whatever it is that you're seeking from this person, especially when you know too much, especially when you know who they are, especially when they can't get into your mind anymore, especially when you come into consciousness. And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people think that they're conscious because they have an understanding when it comes to certain things. But if you aren't aware, conscious enough to fight your feelings and emotions, then you're still weak for the narcissist, because you can be conscious and know something, but you have this addiction, this high, like a drug, with the narcissist, where it's almost like you're conscious of what's going on, but your love for them, your emotions for them, the physical bond that they created with you is so powerful that you can't resist them. Even if you show anger to them it's like you're just angry because to them you're just, whenever you're angry or sad or crying, to them it's nothing but a tantrum. You're throwing a tantrum, and it really angers them. It angers them because it's like, if you don't like who I am right now, you wouldn't like the real me. The tyrant's looking at you dead in your eyes like, if you don't like me now, you won't like the real me. And then they get more disrespectful now. Now they become more disrespectful, Now they know that they've gotten into your soul, into your mind, that now they know they can disrespect you and you're not going anywhere. They know that you're trapped in your mind and they're the ones controlling your every move. They know that you can't get to the next level without them because they've pulled that cord out. They've pulled your Wi-Fi out. There's no Wi-Fi in your mind. There's no Wi-Fi, and you can't connect to the Wi-Fi, and because you can't connect to the Wi-Fi, you can't get to certain resources to find out the truth. You've tapped out. It's like, even if I gave you the Wi-Fi, you're not even going to want to use it because it's not going to mean anything to you. Your high is going to come from the narcissist. Your addiction is going to come from the narcissist, meaning that, just like people, keep their phones in their hands, you're going to feel like, I need the narcissist, under my hands. I need the narcissist right here on my fingertips, because it's better than being on the phone. It's better than the Wi-Fi. It's better than all of that. I rather just have your physical body yearns for the narcissist because they've purposely set it up that way where they're connected to you. And this is why a lot of times they'll have children with you, because, they'll have, another bond, because now they know that you'll have a constant reminder of them, and they can not only tap into your mind, but they can tap into their children's minds. And, whenever they get around their kids, they can tell them what they want to hear. But in the narcissist tyrant's mind, they don't care about those kids. They don't care. They're like, I created them for a purpose. They're my soldiers. They're my soldiers. You were my soldier. You were my soldier too. But now you're disobedient. So then they try to turn your kids on you. And when they can't get their kids to turn on you, they'll just devalue everyone, and then they'll give sob stories and blame you, or tell people that you're the one that doesn't want the relationship to work, but they won't be clear about their intentions and their abuse, their manipulation, and their goal to turn, their children against, the partner who's an empath. So the tyrant, you guys, is someone that you can't change their mind. A lot of times when narcissists admit to you who they are, they're not really fully telling you the truth. They're only speaking from a perspective of what you know. They're only going to say as much as you know. And even when they tell you everything, where it seems like they're telling you everything, because you're thinking to yourself, does the narcissist know who they are? Do they know that everything that they do, that there's other people like them who do the exact same things? You're wondering, why doesn't this person know that they're destroying people, that they're hurting others? Why aren't they conscious of it, right? But when narcissists come out and tell you the truth, what happens is that, this is what I believe. I believe that when narcissists tell you the truth, because I've been around these people my whole life, one, this is how I got wrapped up into a narcissistic relationship. It wasn't because I came from a bad family. I had a good family with, I never needed anything, right? But I came from a narcissistic family, which means that no one's really affectionate. Like, if you give someone a hug, it's weird. Like, I don't have family that's affectionate. And then when they are affectionate, they pick and choose who they're going to be affectionate to. Their golden child or whatever it is, right? So because I don't come from a family that's affectionate, they even tell us, I don't know why I'm not affectionate. My parents weren't affectionate. I think that's why. They'll even explain it to you of why they're the way that they are. So the narcissist feeds off of that, and they give you what they feel like you're lacking or what you really want. They come into your life giving you what you've always wanted. They're seeing you. They're seeing through you. And because they're seeing through you, you think there's something special about this person. They're actually seeing through me. They can see me, They can finally, it's like you're finally being seen in a way that you've never been seen before. And then they just destroy you. By the time they're done with you, it's like they take your light. They take anything beautiful that you've had in you or about you, They wash you up. They age you. They tire you, They take the excitement and the thrill out of life, out of your dreams, because they're bored. The narcissist is bored. So then they bring that energy to you and suck your energy out while they're dancing around with their music and drinking and clowning and acting like they're so happy and perfect and they're on demon time. They'll suck the energy out of you, and now nothing really fulfills you anymore. Your relationships change. Your want to always be there for people changes. You spend more time with yourself than with others. You spend a lot of time, wishing you could go back, change things. You have a lot of shame. I have a lot of shame, from, taking certain people for granted, acting irrational, redirecting my anger at the wrong people. I did a lot of things because I couldn't control my emotions. My emotions were everywhere. I became very angry. I wasn't able to forgive people. Even when people would ask me for forgiveness, I couldn't forgive them. The narcissist tyrant, they don't forgive people. They never forget when you do something to them, even if they do stuff to you all the time. The moment you do something to them, because it's all about power with them, they don't forgive you, and they almost expect you to be like them. It's like you have to choose them over your family and your friends. And, you know, you won't forgive people because the narcissist makes it seem like once people disrespect you, that's it. And you're sitting there staring at the narcissist like, you disrespect me all the time, or it's like they're teaching you what not to tolerate from others while doing it to you, So I was very affected with their words. I remember crying and telling them, like, why do you keep calling me the B word? Why do you keep calling me a hoe? I'm not that, I'm not none of those things you're saying. It was like the very first time in my life that anyone had ever degraded me in that way. I've never had anyone call me names repeatedly and, with so much hate, so much disgust, anger in my life. And it made me feel so down because it's like you're in love, this person makes you feel happy, and then out of nowhere, they're rejecting you, they're hiding from you, they're slandering you, they're, embarrassing you. So I've spent a lot of time frozen in time, going through the motions, going through the past. It's like once I left and that connection was cut off, it was like I finally had woken up into this other world. It's like I died several times, but this time was different. This time was different from every time. This is why I tell you guys, it's very dangerous when you're dealing with these people because, yeah, they hurt you a lot. They break up with you. They break your heart multiple times. They're investigating what you're doing online. If they see that you're having fun, you have money, and you're traveling and doing stuff, now they're contacting you. They want to be a part of your life because they saw that you got better, and instead of you waking up, you go back to these people. I've seen people even call me, people that I was close to that went through identical situations, and I was trying to understand my own situation. And when I was watching certain people around me, they would, the narcissist would watch them, and when that person was doing good, the narcissist would come around, and then the narcissist would be begging for supply, or begging for intimacy, or begging for money or whatever. And this person's like wondering, well, how come they weren't being nice to me at first? But then when I started posting stuff online of all these nice things I'm doing, the narcissist comes back around, but they came back this time with a vengeance, or they came and knocked you up and then left, did it on purpose, all to exude power over you. And I've seen people take them back after these things. I've seen the narcissist destroy people's, vehicles, cars. I've seen the narcissist and their supply double team, and, 1 minute the supply is destroying your property. The narcissist is acting like they care or acting like they don't know who did it. And now you're questioning their behavior because you're like, all these bad things keep happening to me, and I'm looking at you now because these things just don't happen to me, and now you're getting upset at me and running away. And now the narcissist becomes abusive, and now instead of them having remorse because one of their supplies did something to you and your property, now the narcissist is doing something to your property. They're like, oh, now you're blaming me. Well, since you're blaming me, I'm going to do something to you. This is someone that does not have no remorse, none at all. So my biggest mistake was believing the narcissist was a victim, listening to them talk about themselves, listening to them talk about their traumas, them making up excuses and using other people's traumas, other people's pain, other people who suffering, their friends who might be going through a disease or health issues. They use other people's situations even to justify their own actions, and it's very sick. Oh, I've been acting like this because my friend, he just went blind, and now I've been at his house a lot trying to help him through this hardship of his, and all you were doing was stressing me out. And you're wondering, well, why didn't you tell me? Or why didn't you, I know this person too, why couldn't we both had went and did something? Or why couldn't you just check up, and say, tell me what you were doing? Why couldn't you just call in and just let me know, what was going on, what was up? So they'll use other people, or their siblings or someone in their family got cancer, So they'll use other people's situations to keep that control over you. And like I said, in the narcissist underworld, they don't abide by any rules. They don't abide by the constitutional rules, and they don't abide by street rules. So anything, what the narcissist is about themselves. So if they can get out of a situation, even if they know that they have to pay for what they did, they'll rather either keep lying and said they didn't have nothing to do with it. They'll keep lying, or they'll rat you out, or they'll say that you're the one who did it. They'll point the finger at you and try to keep their innocence, or make it seem like you were the one trying to manipulate them. So when narcissists get over on you, when they destroy your life, your relationships, when they leave you with shame, with guilt, when you finally realize, because someone literally almost mentally handicapped you, and now you have to go to the start to figure out the puzzle of what happened. Once you go to the start and your memory starts coming back and you start to view things differently, you start looking at certain scenarios and you start realizing that something else was happening in that scenario. Once you realize that the good parts were only good because maybe they were going through something and just wanted someone around. Once you start to see all the lies, all the times they flipped out on you, the anger, the abuse, the physical abuse, the embarrassment, and they're making it seem like you were the manipulator and you're the one who made them act this way, and they're stuck on the one bad thing that you did to them, which in my case, when I left the narcissist, I left them in a cabin in the middle of nowhere because they were being very disrespectful, and I was afraid for my safety, and I just couldn't take them yelling at me when we were in such a peaceful place. And I remember a bat flying by and almost biting the narcissist, because he was yelling and we're in the wilderness. So he was disturbing the peace of the animals even. And a bat just flew by and almost bit him. And there was this darkness over me that, my spirit said, just leave and never look back. And I left. And, the narcissist, that was something they couldn't forgive me for, even though they had the new supply come pick them up, and they took pictures with the new supply in the cabin that we were in and sent me the pictures and was like, thank you for the cabin, So even though they did all that, they were stuck on, you left me in a cabin in the middle of nowhere. They were stuck on that, even though they've left me stranded before. I had to catch an Uber, a taxi, because my phone died. I had to use someone's phone to get a taxi. So the narcissist has put me in those type of situations, but the moment that I did something to them, they held that against me, and they made it seem like I was the narcissist. Like I was stuck. They, in the end, they're always going to make it seem like you did something to them, or they were the best thing to ever happen to you and you messed it up because you were snooping around, you were too nosy, because they're very secretive people, and you started to wake up, you started to pay attention to the signs, you started to see that they were even being sloppy on purpose. You started to see all these things. So the tyrant, what the tyrant does is that even though the tyrant knows that they destroyed you, they'll blame you. They'll make it seem like you deserved it, because if they hadn't done it, someone else will. They'll make it seem like, you know, you already had trauma. You already had certain things that happened to you in life, and that's why you deserved it. They feel like if you didn't have an understanding about people like them, that basically, like, now you do. Now you know how we work. And there's never any empathy for the way they changed your life in a very dramatic way. You know, there's never no empathy. And, you know, I always chose the narcissist. I put them in front of everyone I ever cared about. And I have to live with the biggest shame because of that. Because by the time they were through with me, I had no one. And then they disappeared to the next supply and moved on like nothing, elevated themselves financially, and never looked back after destroying me. And I remember when they left, you know, a part of me still, even after all the bad things, because I was used to them doing bad things and taking them back. So I'm thinking, yeah, I did some bad things to you because I couldn't take it anymore. But in the narcissist's mind, the moment you start fighting back, that's when it's over, because they're not going to allow you to do to them what they've done to you. They're never going to allow you to feel empowered over yourself. And they want you to know, they want you to take a deep look at yourself and know that, hey, this little bit of power you tried to have over me, it doesn't amount to what I've done to you. They already know that. The tyrant already knows that. So when they left, you know, they said to me, you don't love me. Because I said to them, you know, you're like my only family now. You know that, you know, I sacrificed everything for you. Like I don't have anyone. Like every relationship I built, family, you know, even family, the people I was closest to me gave up on me because they thought I deserved better. And they saw me change in front of them. And by the time I changed, I was never that bubbly, happy, nice person anymore. I became mean. I became angry. I became consumed with just wanting to be with the narcissist. And that was the only way that I found happiness, is being with that person. It was like my natural happiness, my natural joy in life was gone. And I thought to myself, it didn't really mean anything. It was almost like I was so wrapped up into that mind control spell that it was like, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't matter. So what if I lose these things? Like, everyone's living their life anyway. You know, who cares? Everyone only thinks about themselves. You know, so I consumed myself in that relationship. And in the end, even if I wanted to blame the narcissist for pulling me away, for making me feel like I should discard certain people in my life, even if they took all my time, they consumed all my time, they controlled everything I did. Anytime I did things for myself, anytime I was just working on myself, anytime it's like, you know, even going to work, oh, Why is your boss calling you in today? You don't even work today. And or why did they move you up in position so quickly? You must be having sex with your boss. It's like everything I did, it was something. I could never be happy doing anything. I couldn't even be happy going to work. I couldn't even be happy sleeping sometimes because sometimes they sleep deprive you. Sometimes you come home and the narcissist took off all the sheets on the bed and you can't even sleep comfortable, or, they're doing weird stuff and flipping the mattress, or, they're always doing something. Or now you're finding condoms and you're like, we don't use condoms. Why are these condoms here? Right? So they always have your mind in places where it shouldn't be. The tyrant does this on purpose. They do this on purpose. They have your mind. The narcissist always has to throw you off. They always have to seem mysterious. They always want to surprise you, even with gifts. The surprises, they surprise you with flowers. They surprise you with dates. So they put you in this state of mind where you're just losing and you're out of touch with reality. And then they bring you into this world of love and a fairy tale, and they're just watching you go back and forth from the delusion to the reality to the crying to the you're trying to debate on staying and going, and the confusion, and they're just watching you, and it's all a joke and it's funny to them. And now when you start getting aggressive, now they're like, I'm slapping the hell out of you. Don't come at me like that. Now they're showing you that they're your master, that they're the ones who, that's basically why they're mad, because they're like, don't come to me about why you're behaving this way. You should know by now why you're behaving this way. You should know what I am. You should know what I do. So there's moments where they're wicked and they're telling you the truth. And those moments are the moments where you don't want nothing to do with them. And you'll reach out to the people you care about, and they know you're going to reach out to the people you care about. And then they'll reach out to you pretending to change. And then if you don't go for that, now they're stalking you. Now they're pulling up to your job. Now they're knocking at your bedroom window. Now they're leaving notes in your car. Now they're, sending you flowers. Whatever they can do to get in touch with you, they know when, now they're waiting outside for you. They're waiting for you to come outside. They're waiting to catch you, by your car. And then they're pulling up on you. And you're not seeing how scary that is. You're not seeing the evil side of them. Sometimes you might even think it's romantic. It's sick and twisted when you're dealing with a tyrant. Because you even think, maybe this is how love is. You start thinking it's normal, and this person just wants to destroy you because they feel like you came into my life. I have a plan for you, and my plan, I'm not where I want to be. So to me, the most devastating thing about dealing with the narcissist tyrant is that I had too many opportunities to leave. I believed they were a victim at first. When I finally realized they weren't a victim, they looked me in the eyes and they said, oh, you finally get it now. Because, as they spoke to me, I was reading between the lines, and I realized in the narcissist world, everything is the opposite. Whatever they're saying to you is the opposite. And I remember I started to finally grasp that. And I said to him, wait, you're the ringleader. That's what I said. Wait, you're the ringleader. And then he looked at me and he said, you finally get it now. And then he said, I'm just like your family. I'm just like your family. And when he left, he said, you don't love me. You just don't have anyone. So he knew exactly what he did and how he did it. And I feel like when the narcissist tyrant explains themselves to people and they sit there and tell you, oh, I did a lot of bad things. I wish I didn't do these things. I heard all those things before. It really triggers me when narcissists say things or say that they've went to therapy and they learned that their behavior is very hurtful to people and things like that. But a lot of times they're only going to therapy because they're drawing the line where if they make the wrong move, they can go through a life-changing experience that they can't come back from. See, they've done that to people many times. They just still don't want those things to happen to them. So they learn to adjust their behavior. But when you're dealing with a narcissist tyrant, they'll adjust their behavior, but it doesn't mean that they're going to stop. It means, I'm just going to get you later. I'm just going to get you when you least expect it. I'm just going to get you to where it's not even going to look like it was me who did it. It's good when a narcissist tyrant admits to who they are. They even know that by admitting who they are, where they've been, it's going to slightly desensitize you to who they really are. It's going to make you feel like there's some type of empathy there. When narcissists talk to you, there's this, they say the right things. They're not dumb. Some of them are, but they know exactly what they're saying to you is going to make you, as an empath, have a weak spot for them, and it's going to make you, especially if they're not the ones who hurt you. If they're not the ones who hurt you, it's going to be easier for you to accept them. It's like when you question it's like when you tell the narcissist, you're nice to everyone but me. So a lot of narcissists that come out and they're out in the open, and you think that they're good people because they're repeating to you everything you experience, and you're basically saying, yeah, you're right. But you as an empath have the same knowledge that they're telling you. Everything that a narcissist can tell you, you don't need a narcissist to tell you what they're doing to you. You should know what they're doing to you. And when they're telling you what they're doing to you, it's almost like you're still under the narcissist's influence, because you'll tell the narcissist that they treat other people good, yet when narcissists are around you at work or in families and they're not doing anything to you, they're not harming you, and they're being nice to you and charismatic to you, you bond with them because you feel like they haven't done anything to you. Sometimes they even have your back. Sometimes they're telling you to leave the narcissist that you're with because they recognize the behaviors, and you're trusting them not to be a narcissist because they're telling you about the narcissist you're with. And they're only telling you these things to make you their next supply, because in your mind, you don't know who that person is. Or you feel like because they can see the red flags, they must be an empath, because they can see the red flags, because they can call out bad behaviors. They must have some empathy or some type of remorse, but they don't. The narcissist tyrant doesn't have those type of emotions. You don't really need a narcissist to tell you what they've done. And when a narcissist breaks things down to you, they get a sense of power. When you look up to narcissist people in any kind of shape or form, they get a sense of power from that. It's like they feel like you don't see them as a bad person. Oh, you're sitting there telling the narcissist, oh, at least you can admit your wrongs. We all go through stages in life where sometimes we do things or we project anger at people, and you start to think that they're a regular person with regular feelings like you, and they're capable of changing, especially if you're someone who's religious. You can make the big mistake of thinking, if I pray for this person, they can change. And because they know you're religious, they're sitting there looking at you like, hey, I think all your prayers have paid off. I feel the Holy Spirit running through my body. These type of people will tell you whatever you want to hear. These aren't people that are going to change. Even if they admit to you certain things, all it does is it's giving them power, because you're telling them, oh, it's so good that you went to therapy. It's so good that you're educating, or you're telling people like us how you guys really are, when you already know as an empath what they are. A lot of empaths can tell you the same things the narcissist is telling you. The difference is the narcissist is getting power from that. And, a lot of times the narcissist wins. They win a lot. That's part of it. Like, they win a lot because people don't see it. People don't see narcissists for who they are until the narcissist does it to them. That's just the simple fact. People don't see the narcissist tyrant until the narcissist tyrant gets over on them. They don't want to understand that the narcissist tyrant does not care about anybody, and it's not something that you can cure. The disease that they have, it's an incurable disease, meaning that the more wicked things they do, the more praise that they want to get from people. They consciously want praise from people. When you're telling them, oh, it's so good that you finally had an awakening, you finally understand that all these actions were destroying the people around you. They don't care that it was destroying the people around them. They only care because it was destroying them. A lot of them don't want to change until it starts affecting them on a personal level. And even then, they need the empath to help them get out of those situations. So when they come online to talk to you, most of the time they're talking to you because nobody else is willing to talk to them and pull them out of that situation, because they already know how that narcissist thinks. So here they come expecting empathy from empaths, and you're fueling them. That's all you do, is you fuel them, and then they start to believe that they're good people and that they made mistakes, and now they want to live a life where now they're behaving in a way where it's almost like they're empaths. And while they're pretending to be empaths, or they feel like, look, I'm not that bad. I've already told everyone what I did and they've accepted me. They don't think I'm a bad person. That's how the narcissist talks to you when they're in a relationship with you. My friends don't think I'm a bad person. Yeah, I come home to you after you make me a nice warm meal, and I choke you out, and I sleep deprive you, and I do all these things to make you fail in life constantly. But other people don't think I'm bad. I'm a good friend. I give good advice to people. These type of people are dangerous because they're so charismatic. They're very fun to be around sometimes. Sometimes they're funny, charming. But once you know what a narcissist tyrant is and you've experienced it, and most people won't accept what a narcissist tyrant is until it happens to them and it's over. Once it's over, once they've killed you and you can't go back to your family and friends and the life you used to have, once you've dealt with them in that level and they won't leave you alone till they destroy you, till you don't have an option but to pretend like they died, they won't leave you alone until they get to that point. And when it gets to that point, no one will believe you. And people will forgive the narcissist. The narcissist will admit to their wrongs. They'll even go to church. They'll change their whole life. They'll treat the next supply way better than you. And they get fuel from other people, you know. So a lot of times you're thinking the narcissist is helping you out of a dark place, but you're helping them. That's what you're doing. You're helping them. It's all about them. That's what a narcissist tyrant is. You're thinking they're helping you, right? They're speaking about your traumas. They're telling you everything people did to you. You're coming to an understanding. You're giving your loyalty to them because you feel like you found a friend or someone you could trust. And then they use everything you said against you. That's what a tyrant does. They use everything you said against, everything you said, they use it against you while they're building a life for themselves that does not include you. They're only using you as a house. They're using you as a house, as a source to achieve what they need to achieve. They do not believe in God. They do not, they do not believe in blessings. They feel like I don't get blessed. Good things don't happen for me, so I have to take them. I don't want to be this way, but I've been this way for a long time, so it's not my fault. I didn't choose this life. This life chose me. I didn't decide what kind of animal I was going to become, and this is just who I am. And if you don't like it, you hate me, and if you hate me, I hate you. And even if you didn't hate me, even if you say you love me, that's weak to me. I'm a predator. That's weak to me. That's weakness. So whoever they're closer to, whoever knows them the most, is the person that's going to take all the abuse. A tyrant also, when they have a primary source and they're looking for different supplies, a lot of times that primary source isn't as easy to get. So when you're dealing with a tyrant, this is someone who is always going to be searching for new supply, whether it's new friends or a new partner. They're always looking. They're always looking for anyone willing to hear them out, anyone to give them any time. And if they know that it's not going to work out, or if they know that you're not interested in them, the narcissist tyrant is going to try to figure out how to get over on you. So this is why I say when you're dealing with a narcissist tyrant, it's dangerous. If they feel like you're not going to give them a chance, this person, the moment say you walk out of your car and you leave your purse in your car. If the narcissist tyrant feels like this girl's really not feeling me, I'm not going to be able to make this person a primary supply, they will steal from you. They will steal from you, and sometimes, they'll even give the primary source an object of a supply that they've ran across, that a past supply, or someone who they ran across that they wanted to make a secondary or primary source, but it just didn't go that far. So they'll take things from people. They're always taking stuff from people. Objects. A tyrant is always going to take something from you if they don't get their way. And you're thinking to yourself, I don't owe you anything. You don't owe these people nothing. But that's how tyrants feel. They feel like you owe them something. They feel like if you open that door, you're simple-minded and you deserve whatever you get. And when the narcissist brings you into that world where there's no rules, it's very scary, because then you look around you and you see that there's a lot of people who are naive, how you once were, So you start to see, you go to work or you go places and you see that, people talk a lot. People say too much. People speak about their traumas in front of the wrong people. People trust easily. People start thinking they know someone just because they see them all the time. The narcissist feeds off of all of that. They know that most people are not conscious. They know that it doesn't matter if they're doctors, nurses, lawyers. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter if you come from a good family, from a bad. They know, the narcissist knows that a lot of people are not as conscious as they think they are. They might have a lot of information. They might be book smart. They might be a little bit street smart too. But there's something about being conscious and being in tune with your intuition and your animal instincts that a lot of people don't have. And that's why the narcissist runs circles around people. Some people are just not fully alert. And I know this because I'll be talking to someone and then I'll be standing right next to them and they're like, "Oh, how'd you get over here so fast?" Because most people are in and out of consciousness. And the narcissist is fully conscious of everything that they're doing and saying. And when the empath becomes fully conscious, you become a threat to them, because they know that your intuition, your instincts are going to go into fight or flight when you feel like you're being attacked, and this person is constantly attacking you. It's just you weren't unable to see these things. This is why they prey on you when you're young. This is why they prey on you when you have certain traumas in life. Because most people who are not trauma bonded to people are not living in their traumas. Most people who form healthy relationships don't form healthy relationships based off of trauma, So this is why this is going to be the ultimate supply for the narcissist. Anyone the narcissist gets with, who is dealing with the narcissist out of trauma, is someone that the narcissist tyrant is going to use. And they're going to use that person till they can't use that person anymore. And they're just going to feel like you did it to yourself because you should know your own limits. So this is why I say be very careful dealing with these people. Be very careful taking their advice. Not saying their advice isn't good, because they're giving you a lot of information that is true. The problem is that you're becoming desensitized to narcissists. You know that you have to live with them. You have to live in a world full of them, and you need to know how to think like them in order to survive. But you also need to realize that you can't leave your guard down with these type of people, meaning that you can work well with them. You know that the narcissist, if you're not a weak-minded person, you know that the narcissist doesn't stand a chance, because they're just going to disappear if they feel like you're a threat to them. But They also know that, with all the information that you're going to be desensitized, and you're going to believe that you're going to be able to control circumstances. You're going to feel like, I already know this person has these traits, but if I'm 5 steps ahead of them, I'm not going to get hurt. When you're dealing with a narcissist tyrant, you can't talk or think like that, because you might say to yourself even, oh, I'm going to just be intimate with this person, but I'm not going to be serious with them. I've been alone for a long time, so I'm just going to be intimate with this person. What you have to understand about a narcissist tyrant is that you can't control them with sex. You can't control a narcissist with intimacy. You cannot control them with gifts. And it doesn't matter how nice you are, how forgiving you are. It doesn't matter if you are accepting of them. So you might accept that this person is who they are. They might have multiple girlfriends, multiple wives. They might have a different type of lifestyle, different beliefs than you. And you might be that person that's like, I don't judge my friends. Just because they're like that doesn't mean that I'm like that. So when you're dealing with a narcissist tyrant, you can't think like that, because see, the moment this type of person has the opportunity to do something to you, even if it takes them years to do it, you might have a good relationship with them for years. You might have known this person in your childhood, and you think you know them just because you know them from childhood. But this person's a very dangerous narcissist. As they get older and you're unaware of it, they will, if they really need it, they will sacrifice you if they feel like they have a good opportunity to get over on you. They will, and they'll pretend like they had nothing to do with it. And they'll keep coming around you like they didn't do anything. They'll do things to you, and it's like, to them it's like, well, if I get caught, I can deny it. And if I deny it and they have evidence against me, then I'm willing to accept that. Sometimes the narcissist doesn't do anything to certain people because they can get more out of them by being nice. So you're wondering, why is the narcissist nice to certain people? Because they can get more out of them being nice, But if that person was to stop giving them supply because they feel like as a friend, they're always there for that person and that person's never there for them. And now they're testing that person's friendship. They're expecting the narcissist to give it up, do something, right? You have to give back too, because I've been a good friend to you this whole time. Now the narcissist will catch it, and they know what you're trying to do. So now they'll avoid you. They'll be like, well, if you want an equal friendship, and I already told you I don't have it. I can't do for you. I can't do nothing for you. Now I'm just going to distance myself from you. I'm not even going to deal with you. So that's going to show you that that person's really not your friend. But then what they will do is, the narcissist tyrant, see, they need power. So they'll contact you out the blue just to play games. Oh, I'm going to call this person and see how they're doing. Hey, what's up, my boy? How you been? And they'll act like nothing, like you guys are still friends. But they've been talking about you. They've been devaluing you to their supplies. They've been they've been talking awful about you. making themselves seem more powerful than you, even if you have more than them. You could sense the jealousy, the hate, and instead the narcissist will tell you they have more than me, but they're jealous of me because of my aura, because of I'm more charismatic than them. I've always gotten more girls than them. They're constantly talking about that person, and when they get around them, they act like they're loyal to them. Their friends treat you like they know you. You know, they look down on you like they know the narcissist's secrets, like they're close to the narcissist and they know the narcissist more than you. And you could see it in their face, but they don't know that the narcissist has been talking really ill about them, and you're just sitting there trying to be nice and be a peacemaker to everyone, right? The narcissist tyrant is a dangerous person. They will drug you. They will rape you. They will steal from you. They will set you up. They will break into your home. The narcissist tyrant has no rules. You know, it's easy to say, if you don't want to be with someone, why don't you just leave them? If you're hurting someone, if you know that you are ruining someone's life, if you know you've ruined other people's lives and you're seeing that the same patterns are happening for someone in front of you, why won't you just let them go? The narcissist tyrant is not a bully. The narcissist tyrant is worse than a bully because they want to destroy you, and that's what people need to wake up and actually understand. There's no reasoning with this person. You can tell this person, I'll give you $1 million if you don't hurt me. I'll give you $1 million if you're just be civilized with me. A narcissist tyrant will agree to get what they want. But because you tried to exhume some type of power by setting some type of rules, they're going to show you that there's no rules in this game. And now they're going to take from you. And on top of that, they're going to try to destroy you. Because in their mind, it's like, you should have never been that silly enough to think that you can make a deal with me. You can't make a deal with me. Because if you make a deal with me, there's always going to be the fine print that you're never going to see. And that's what happens with, people who get into these relationships with the narcissist tyrant, is that they read the agreement, they see what's going on, but they're not reading the fine print, and the fine print is them after your soul. I hope that you guys enjoyed this podcast. I know I haven't really been on here and I haven't really spoke on things in a while. I feel like, I've expressed a lot of the understanding and experiences that I've gained and the wisdom that I've gained through these experiences. And it's something, the healing process is where I'm at. I feel like I went through the anger stage, because you go through being angry and turning into someone that you're not after you gain all the understanding of what happened to you, and you spend months just thinking and being triggered by different things, and you even lose your mind. You start walking in the spirit realm and start seeing things you shouldn't see. These people literally drive you into insanity, and then when you come back to your body, you're kind of in shock that you're back in your body, and you become angry because it's like someone was driving your body this whole time, and now you're angry at all the time that you spent, and you have a lot of resentment. And just, like I said, you have a lot of shame, a lot of that shame. Sometimes you don't even want them back, but you still wish things would have been different. You wish you wouldn't have got the bad end of the stick, So you feel like you got the bad end of the stick, and they just, used you for your energy, and now they're living the life that you had. And now you're living and feeling, like they felt when you met them. Like they were in that dark place when you met them. And then when they got out of that dark place, they acted like they were never in that dark place. And now they left you there in that dark place by yourself, when they couldn't even handle being by themselves, And you're kind of like, there's nothing else that you can do. There's no going back. You can try to make things right with people, but it's never going to be right. And, by the time you wake up, most people will move on with their lives, and you'll basically be in solitude, and you'll feel like you're in jail all over again. You feel like you were in jail when you were with the narcissist, and then they take you into this realm where, you feel like your spirit is just, still trapped in some shape or form, because you don't completely feel free from what happened to you, So it's, to me, it was very important to still come on here and just bring you guys awareness of the narcissist tyrant, and, what type of life these people bring to you, and who they really are, and, and how people, now that people have 20/20 vision, they will continue to be desensitized. That's the next process, is that you can know the truth, but when people know the truth, they get comfortable in the truth, and they lose you. They want you to get to the point where you don't have a belief system. You don't know what to believe anymore. You don't really know what's real anymore. You're questioning everything. You're questioning the world, spirituality. You're questioning the universe. You're questioning the weather. You're questioning this. You're questioning everything. The narcissist wants you in a place of confusion, basically lost in limbo, and just being on that pursuit of happiness, and feeling bliss, just to, get knocked back down over and over again, only that this time you have to fight your way out of it by yourself, and fighting things, as far as, life by yourself without help is very difficult. So if you get out of these toxic relationships and you still have family and friends, and you still have your life and your career, you have to be grateful for those things. You have to be grateful for whatever you have, or whatever you pulled yourself out of, whatever people said about you and judged you because of the mistakes you made. You have to be willing to accept that, and sometimes even take accountability. And I think the taking accountability, it's not so much of taking the accountability, but it's just not knowing that all those times where you knew you were making a deal with the devil were going to you didn't know it was going to cause so much suffering, and you're almost mad at yourself because you got a crappy deal. You got a crappy deal, and it didn't, and it was never about you and this person and being together forever. It was just, the deal was, until the narcissist got whatever it is that they wanted. The deal was not what you expected. To the narcissist, they had another deal in mind. And I think that's usually what hurts the most, is that most of us just could not understand that, and we have to live with those consequences. And and we try to reassure ourselves through videos or through speaking to people that what we went through was real. And we kind of feel comfort in knowing that other people have been through stuff, and sometimes we get comfort knowing that, hey, some people been through worse stuff and at least that didn't happen to me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you get comfort out of that, but the realization of everything is that you're still going to have to deal with that pain. And it might, especially when you're fresh out of it, you're thinking to yourself, oh, I'm so glad, it's over, and you're so happy, and because you finally feel like all that weight is off your shoulders. But once the months and the years go by, you're going to feel a lot different about the situation, because sometimes you even have this feeling that they're your soulmate, or they're going to come back, or they're going to one day regret what they did. You keep living thinking maybe one day they'll regret it, right? So, you'll think about them, you'll lie to yourself, and it won't hit you till years later, till the years go by, and it actually finally starts to soak in what really happened and the extent of it, and this is why I wanted to continue to just talk about it, because I know, sometimes we need to hear it. We need to understand that these type of people, they just don't change. They might change to modify their life because of survival, but their hearts, their emotional intelligence, it's not there the way you want it to be there. They understand you. They know what's going to make you sad, what's going to upset you. They know that they put you in situations where you even self-destruct. They know all these things. They can go and give people advice about dealing with people like them, but it's not going to change the fact that they still are who they are, and they still lack that emotional intelligence. And any type of response that you give to these people to make them feel like they're good in any kind of way is going to just justify what they've done to other people. This is why the narcissist never really completely feels bad for what they've done to people. They'll tell you they feel bad, or they wish they wouldn't have done certain things to people, but they really don't care. Sometimes they even went back and apologized to people, but in reality, they don't care. They only care about their own shame, their own guilt, their own problems. That's why most of these people don't care about you until it happens to them. That's why most flying monkeys, they're against you. They're on the narcissist side until they finally realize that the narcissist is a tyrant and the narcissist doesn't care about anyone. And now they feel betrayed because they're like, hey, every time you did bad things or you lied, I always had your back no matter what. In the moment you had to sell me out, you sold me out quick. So I'm sending you guys Lots of love, light, peace in your healing, and I'll talk to you guys soon.